good human being.
Right. No.
And somebody that I'm like very like I'm happy to call him my friend, and I'm not like uncomfortable in any situation with Scott. I think he's not like I don't think that it was child pornography, but I could be wrong. I think that there was like that it wasn't child pornography, but I could be wrong.
I'm really sorry because I know this type of question is rough, and I feel like when there's more unanswered questions, it leaves. Like, I don't know if he was texting a 12-year-old saying, send me a sext, or if he was looking at a file that was recorded in a different country by an actual child molester. And I don't know why he would have child porn on his work computer to begin with, or like where that was all coming from.
I mean, honestly, I think he was looking at pornography on his work computer.
Right.
Super wrong. Super wrong. Before the days of the before it was like easy to just do it on your phone. Again, yep, super wrong. He's been convicted. He's done his time, and I mean, I think I don't know. If I was calling people up and like telling them not to to blacklist this person, I'd probably have all of my facts and sort of like.
No, again, that's where I don't have any facts. That's where I'm happy to reach out to you and like. Mostly, I feel like Twitter's dead. Some people have dead websites. Some of it's old campaigns, so it's kind of hard to get in touch with people. And I've never done business with Moral Inc. But I have been really following the trends with Pornhub because I think sometimes people think porn is like a victim-less crime, but whoever were the children being sexually exploited or raped in the pictures are the victims I'm kind of zeroing in on. Where are they? Who exploited them? And the user, the middleman in this transaction of looking at child porn, they maybe have a pedophile mindset, or they, for some reason, that turns them on, which, like, to me, that's like a sickness, like a disease or something. And I don't know if his explanation is that it was inadvertent. That's one thing I'm trying to find out is he was looking at above age what he thought was consensual legal porn on his work computer, and then it moved over to child, or if it was an escalating addiction type of a thing. I don't know.
From my understanding is that the state couldn't confirm the ages of the women.
Oh,
but,
I see.
But again, this is based on my memory from when this happened. What is this, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago? I don't even remember.
Right. Well, I feel happy that I'm not a porn user, so I'm somewhat naive about how much it really infects the lives of people and what their motivations are, or how it becomes like an addiction. Well, in terms of support, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, how did you get like so interested in this, or like how did this like trigger you to make a bunch of phone calls and?
Well,
I'm just super curious.
No, it's gonna.
I feel like it hasn't, like, nobody's really talked about this in. I mean, maybe a little bit, but nobody's really talked about this in, like I said, 20, 25 years.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm old, so I remember it, but
So, I mean, I call Planned Parenthood PAC because if I go to the Secretary of State website, I search Scott Ballo as a private contributor. You're like kind of, I don't know, in the top 10 of his most recent donations, and your donation was back in 2018. In terms of campaign finance donations, I used to fundraise for, I was very familiar and fine with talking on the phone, like, will you donate to the environment, blah, blah, blah. So I know the routine, and raising money is important. So in a way, I'm kind of reverse fundraising, because it's the same mindset. You just cold call people, talk to them, and at the end of the day, I want to know no one else is being abused.
I get all of that. I'm just curious, what triggered you to start calling people about Scott?
Well, I saw the tweet. There's a lot of tweets, and some of the accounts keep getting deleted. So it like you know how the internet is like stuff shows up, then it disappears. The first time I heard about it, I literally didn't really bat an eye. I was just like, oh, just another scandal in Oregon politics because there's so many. It's hard to keep up with them all. And digging a little deeper, I think some people are just starting to talk about it again, which I think, in terms of ethical finance, looking deep into the ethics of things, I see that there's this contrast between Oregon's compassion towards offenders, like you get reintegrated into society. But lately, I guess with the Me Too movement too, there's a lot of reorienting the spectrum back to the survivors too. Like, where do they get reintegrated? Where do they get to be important and cherished and on a pedestal? And like Scott's got money to throw around, and that's, I guess, good for him. But who are the victims and who was hurt? Are they okay? Is anyone else being exploited? I don't I don't know. I mean, I hope he's clean in his mindset. I hope he's not a Pornhub addict, for instance, looking at underage porn, like Layla McLeod is talking about with her campaign. I mean, I've been following her for a year, and maybe that kind of has helped. I don't know anything about porn because I find it distasteful, but I have recently been following Layla and what she's showing about the deeper issues surrounding the whole pornography industry. And so Scott is just one person. I mean, there's millions of porn users probably. And I don't, I find politics to be kind of like difficult. But I mean, Planned Parenthood, you guys are rocked on. I'm so on the same page. And probably Scott Ballo and I are like 90% the same politics. I've never met him or talked to him, but we probably are passionate about the environment, about women's rights. And I just don't know where his mindset has come in terms of how people who are survivors might feel impacted. Like, if you were a child pornography victim and some guy who used to be looking at your picture is now funneling money to the governor, would that make the victim feel okay? And like, who's going to care about that victim?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very, well, in my opinion, and this is, I'm their treasurer. I'm not the executive director, so I don't make the decisions about whether or not they accept people's that they accept people's funds. I do fundraising for lots of different people, and I would, again, I adore Scott. I think he's my friend. He obviously made a mistake years ago, and he's done all of the things he needs to do. He's never done anything like that I know of, or has been convicted of anything since. When you're talking about victims, I immediately think of what happened with Neil Goldschmidt, and then when people, and how he abused a young woman for years and years. Yeah. And then when Nigel Jaquith then retells this story about Neil Goldschmidt, and ultimately then brings everything back up for this victim, who then I think ends up killing herself because of all of that torture being brought up. So I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to, I don't know. Scott's a wonderful human.
Oh no, but I think I see.
I would talk to him before like calling more people within the community. Like, yes, we all know who Scott is. He comes to lots of events. So I would talk to him as opposed to like calling a bunch of campaigns and talking about him and bringing stuff up that happened 25 years ago. I don't know.
I'm not trying to traumatize him in terms of him being, maybe he feels victimized by the prosecution. I don't even know how he feels. I'm not trying to hurt him or hurt the survivors of the child porn. I just
don't understand the point of calling people up and asking them about this, like 20, I'm trying to look it up on the internet, like when this even happened, but it was at least 20 years ago.
I think 2007.
I just think that it's just, when was it, 2007?
I think so, yeah.
I just think, like, why don't you call him and talk to him and ask him?
I left him a message today, so maybe I'll hear back from him. He has both my numbers.
Okay, well, maybe wait to call other people until after you talk to Scott. I'm sure he'll call you back. Again, I think Scott is a delightful human. We all make mistakes. I would, I hate it when people, if you make a mistake, then you like just shut them off, and the way that we learn is by making mistakes and making, and then changes. I would hate for, again, I just think that calling people up and saying, and trying to get people to stop taking his donations when he's done great, he's a great human.
Well, maybe
He really is.
he's done good things specifically for child porn survivors. Like, if I'm not trying to specifically fundraise for the
I don't know. Like, I don't know I don't know what else he's given to. I know that he gives to my candidates. He gives, anytime I ask him for a donation for something, he often gives it. I think that he's incredibly generous. He has done lots of work on himself, to be a better, to be a better human. I really only have wonderful, positive things to say about Scott, and so, and he's super open about this too. It's not like he's trying to keep it a secret. He's very open about his work that he's done, and his flaws, and what happened in his life, and what he was going through at that time. And so I encourage you to call. And I know you already left him a message. I encourage you to talk to him.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm actually just like kind of upset that you're like calling people within our community and saying negative things about Scott. Just because he has done all of the things that you want somebody to do when they make a mistake, Scott has done. And then people it just keeps coming up, and it's like, well, what more do you want that man to do?
Right.
He's done all the things he's supposed to be doing.
And if like, in terms of like an answer to your rhetorical question, I'm thinking I want to know for sure no one else is being abused, and maybe that he would get behind some of the campaign surrounding child pornography on Pornhub, because there's a massive campaign, like, victims are coming forward, lots of children being exploited. And in a way, I just feel like that extra amount of commitment would help me understand that if I donate to Planned Parenthood PAC, I'm not inadvertently perpetuating either rape apologism or child sexual endangerment. Like, I don't want to feel like the bad guy because I don't support children being sexually abused in porn. I don't even like any porn, to be honest. But that's me. But like, especially non-consensual child porn. I have too many friends who were child rape victims to be able to handle it. I guess maybe that's where my personal, like, it evokes strong emotions in me to know that children were exploited.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I just encourage you to talk to Scott, and well, I guess that's all I really have to say.
I'm so sorry. Thanks for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, y'all. That was Elizabeth A. Wilson, treasurer of ImperiumPoliticalStrategies.com at Planned Parenthood PAC, as she works for Planned Parenthood.